Hi guys, welcome to a very grainy beer review. The lighting's just proper strange. Even though it's light enough, it's not at the same time. So I'd need some artificial light to get rid of the graininess. But it's actually quite fitting for this whole DIY aesthetic, because we're jumping into the first beer from Brewdog's Fanzine box series that they do, which is a fortnightly thing where they send 3 different beers. £11. You get 3 beers each fortnight, and I think it's an okay deal. I'm going to give it a go for a couple of weeks and see what the beers are like. The only thing that is slightly annoying about this is I had no notification that my beer was on the way. I'm sure they got the date wrong when I initially signed up, so I was expecting it one day, but then it came another day. And I'm not really too much of a fan of being charged for the next box when I've only just received the first box. So those small little things sort of work against it almost. Not enough to leave a sour taste in my mouth, because it's all down to the beer at the end of the day. But I think they aimed high, but they sort of, misfired. But I got the beers, that's the important thing. I was supposed to be doing these sorts of videos with my good friends Jake and Craig. Jake, of course, from Jake Beer, and Craig from Kent Beer Reviews. But it seems Craig's box has just not arrived, and he's already been charged for the next box. So I'm really in the mood for a beer. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, kicking off with this, that's my little sort of rant out of the way. I'm not some of these people who will put a dog collar on and bitch about Brewdog or anything like that, because I'm a fan of Brewdog. And I'm using these boxes as an excuse to try new Brewdog beers, because I just primarily drink Elvis juice, because I think it's an absolutely beautiful beer. I think it's the best grapefruit infused beer I've had so far. And yeah, so I spend pretty much all the time drinking that, so I don't really get the chance to pick up newer releases from Brewdog. And I think this is a really cool little idea. Even though they've got that Tangerine Dream available in supermarkets now, which I'm really, really a fan of, because I love the addition of citrus fruits in beer. And it's good for breweries because you can cut down on the hops and just bring up that fruitiness with citrus fruits. But yeah, so I thought I'd give it a try, even though I should really be doing this with the other guys. Maybe we'll have a look at what beers are left when Craig gets his box, that sort of thing. Plus, it's a little bit harder with my shifts at work, where I'm working early one day or 2 days, then the next day I could be doing a late. So it's hard to, even when I'm off, I'm going to be in work the next day, so I can't really drink too much. But it's been a lovely day today. Of course, when I go to record this video, it's overcast as hell. And I was like, God damn it, I'm in the mood for a beer. And I thought I'd start off with one that intrigues me the most from this box. So, of course, in the box you get the 3 beers and this little pullout. I was so hoping that there'd be this sort of DIY zine inside, because I love zines. I love handcrafted publications. I love collages, I love the idea of photocopying, I love the idea of using staples and mixed media. I love the idea of zines. I think it's a great way to express yourself. And yeah, I've contributed to zines. I'd have loved to have been around in the 70s and 80s for the punk era to, get stuff like Sniffing Glue and the Strangled fanzine from the Stranglers, where the band were actually involved in it themselves. And it's just I just love that whole community side of things. So I wasn't annoyed or anything, but it would be nice if there were stickers or little DIY printouts or a little publication thrown in the box. Maybe they'll develop it in the future. That's just me overly romanticising the concept of the zine. But I do like this idea that they're doing, and I'm going to roll with it for a few weeks to give it a try, to try some newer Brewdog beers. And I think you can vote for the beers after each fortnight or something along those lines, so then one would become a somewhat regular release. But anyway, enough of the waffle. I'm starting to sound like the text on a Brewdog can. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, Peter. And we're starting off with Brewdog's Zephyr, which is version 1 Citrus Tart Edition, clocking in at 4.6% ABV. So I'm going to quickly read you the description on the back. So it's 4.7, IBUs are 10. Original guile, I think that is 1.044. So the malts are pale and wheat. The kettle hops are perla, and the additions are grapefruit and tangerine. Sounds good already. So, a westerly blows this pale ale into town. A twist of acidity up front, with juicy tangy fruity notes dominating the palate. A light bready base adds hints of biscuit and pie crust, which melds with notes of tangerine, grapefruit, lemon and apple pie. Zephyr, breathe in, or breeze in, breeze out. And Fanzine, for a decade we've made beers, 10 years, that's absolutely crazy. Beers we want to drink, recruiting a legion of like-minded folk along the way. Time to reward the devotion. This is for the fans, the dreamers and the diehards and the geeks. Sorry about my terrible reading of England. 3 new beers every 2 weeks, our fortnightly homage to you. You are our heart, our soul and our future. We salute you, Fanzine, beer for the geeks. And then on the little pull-out that you get with this as well, even though, let's see, and it's also blood orange in this. Yeah, it doesn't really tell you too much. Week 1 featuring blah 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 blah. Save that for when I actually review the beers. And if you see the pink hue, it's because I'm playing Skyrim on the Xbox One, and you're muted because I don't want to get copyright strikes for the absolutely gorgeous music in Skyrim. Beautiful, beautiful music. But yeah, cool artwork on this. I do like the Brewdog artwork, even though it's got that reeking of marketing dictated the choice. But I do like the sort of distressed look the cans have. Almost like a distressed metal. But yeah, anyway, plus it's a peel-off, so it's another label for the collection. Anyway, I've gone on for 7 minutes and I've not even opened the beer yet. So let's get the beer open. My Dead Pony Club t-shirt was in the wash, so all I'm going to be able to do is use my Brewdog Teku. And let's see what we get with this beer. So, there we go. And beer is crystal clear in the glass, a lovely sort of golden look to it. It's got an almost like lager feel to it, to be honest. But yeah, crisp golden pale ale in appearance. Is that even a proper descriptor? I don't know by now. And that has got 2 fingers worth of a white foamy looking head. It just looks like a Brewdog beer. Do you know what I mean? It's got that sort of like Brewdog look to it. And that's such a cop-out thing to point out. But anyway, let's see what we get on the nose. Oh wow. Oh, that's such a lovely smelling beer. That really, really is. Oh, that's just pure fragrant tangerine. Lovely tanginess to it as well. It's got a tanginess, but it's also got a delicate edge. Very, very fragrant. Those citrus fruits are just bam, 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 but not too overwhelming. Then, of course, you get that subtle grapefruit aroma coming through. A little bit of lemon, lime. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the green starburst on the aroma. Yeah, again, like pure jelly sweets with this. But like real fruit aroma as opposed to like synthetic flavourings. That breadiness is coming in now as well. Almost has like a slight rye bread spiciness. That's beautiful. That's a really gorgeous smelling beer. It really, really is. Hopefully that translates to the flavour. I'm a sucker for citrus fruit infused beers. So, Elvis juice. You could have some stiff competition. Let's find out. Cheers. Ooh. That is tart. Yeah, that's definitely puckering. It's not the tartness that's making my eyes water. It's the tartness with the carbonation, because it hit the back of my throat. Once you get that initial, almost blood orange goes-like flavour, that's what it's reminded of. It reminds me of Two Old Goes to Hollywood, in terms of that front, like, Seville orange flavour. Tangy lime. Then that breadiness comes through. There's like a spiciness mixed in there as well. It's crisp. It's refreshing. It's got a bit of like a Capri Sun sort of flavour to it. Yeah, that's like a lovely sour pale ale. And it's all about those citrus fruits. It's not really hoppy. I reckon it's those additions of those fruits that really make this beer shine. And it said it only had 10 IBUs. To me, there's a bit more bitterness on the back end. But yeah, orange, tangerine, grapefruit, easy peelers, whatever that means. Lemon, lime. It's got a herbal edge in there as well. Puckering, acidity. It's a little bit harsher than you would expect in those, but it still delivers. Yeah, that's a really nice surprise. And look at those, you can actually see little bits in there. Well, you can't really because it's all pixely, it's full of little bits, but yeah, I really like that. Nicely carbonated. It's not beating Elvis juice yet, don't worry. Elvis, you're still my favourite Brewdog beer. But that is really nice. It's like a come-between of a Goes and a nice gentle pale ale. And tell you what, with the summer months slowly coming into play, that's perfect for the weather. It really, really is. That's really, really nice. I can't fault it too much. The only thing that slightly works against it for me is I wish it had that subtle sweet fruity flavour that the note would lead you to believe. But I'm really enjoying that. That's a lovely, lovely beer. I'm enjoying that enough to give it a 9 out of 10. So that's the 9 out of 10 for Brewdog's Zephyr version 1. I'd imagine they'll play around with this one. Part of the fanzine box. I could definitely see that one becoming a regular sort of beer. Because I don't think Brewdog have like a sour beer as part of their core range. And I think that would fit in nicely with something like Elvis Juice and Punk. And it's like just taking it up a notch in terms of flavour profile. And I could definitely see that being sold in supermarkets as well. So it's got a little bit more reach also. But yeah, a lovely surprise and a really nice start to the fanzine box. So if you have tried this and you've tried the service, let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you think of any beers that sound like this, hit me up in the comments down below. If you love your citrus fruits, you're going to love this beer. You really, really are. If you love your sour beers, you're going to enjoy it too. Yeah, and I was not expecting it to be that sour. I really, really wasn't, and it really has delivered. So 9 out of 10. I'll put as much information as I can down below. Check out the fanzine project if you're interested, and of course check out my pale ale playlist. Check out my Brewdog playlist for other Brewdog beers, and more importantly, I hope you'll join me next time for a review that hopefully won't take 15 minutes. Anyway, it's getting really darker now. The lighting's absolutely terrible. But I'm just punk as fuck. Do you know what I mean? You know, I am actually having my punk years in my late 20s, which is liberating but really quite sad and pathetic at the same time. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.